So it is said that whenever we start anything which is good, we should invoke auspiciousness. Right? I've told this many times. We go for exam, we take blessings from Krishna, or we go to the altar, we place our dandavats, or we take blessings from our parents. Hey, paper acha jaye, something like that. Why? Because we want to invoke auspiciousness. Auspiciousness comes from how the auspiciousness comes. It comes from blessings, right? Blessings of seniors, blessings of parents, blessings of elders. Without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, without the mercy of the elderly, nothing can happen in this world. So, same thing is Mangala Acharan. Mangal means auspiciousness. Acharan means to bring. So, we are reading these prayers to bring auspiciousness. Nothing wrong happens while we are discussing spirituality. Anything can happen, right? Let's say that the chat can only go away, anything can happen. So, we are praying to Krishna, to elderly personalities, to Vaishnavas, that whatever we are hearing, we can imbibe, we can understand, and we can put it into application. So these are the verses we are going to chant. Only the Sanskrit, the italics one, and it's around 8 to 10. If possible, try to remember these verses. Try to by heart. We by heart so many formulas in our life. These are something that we can by heart. And especially the first verse is very, very important. This verse is known as verse of gratitude. It is said that if we change one equation in our life, then our life can become very blissful. And that one change in the equation is putting gratitude in place, putting our life with gratitude. So this verse is about gratitude, first verse, and then we'll see more. We'll just read all the verses. This is introduction. We are just doing the introduction, which is whenever we read Bhagavad Gita, we should try to recite these verses. If not all the verses, at least the first verse. This verse says that I was born in ignorance, but because of your mercy of my spiritual teacher, I am able to get this knowledge. Let's read it. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So we'll sing it together. For some of you, it might be new, but we'll just try to read together, and slowly you will get it. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadaniyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Radhanamikam Tvam Sajivam Sadhaitam Savadaitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurandi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudevi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Shrimate Swami Sinamane. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Hare Shrimate Swami Sinamane. Namaste Saraswati Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtabdesha Karine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim Yatkipatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinacharanam Sarvanam. The last words which I recited, Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim. It's a very important verse. It means that Mukam Karoti Vachalam. Mukam Karoti Vachalam means basically without mercy of a Guru, mercy of Vaishnava, one cannot even speak about Krishna. And without the mercy of Vaishnava, if mercy of Vaishnava is there, one can cross the ocean surrounded by mountains. One can cross the mountains as well. We see that in the case of Hanuman. Because of the mercy of Vaishnavas. In that case, it was Jambavan who encouraged Hanuman, the priest. And Mukam Karoti Vachalam, without mercy of Vaishnava, one cannot even speak. That I realized 3 months back. And I completely lost my voice for almost a quarter. Quarter reports we have in my report was there was no voice. But Krishna's mercy. That's when I was able to appreciate. After that, I started appreciating this verse, Mukam Karoti Vachalam, much more. That it's a rare occasion that one gets a chance to speak about Krishna. We are busy speaking about all nonsense things. I was talking about my office time when all what we do is we gossip and all that. We talk about whether that manager is giving me a hard time, this, that. But in that all that ups and downs, when we speak about Krishna, the mind becomes peaceful. So Mukam Karoti Vachalam, this verse is very important. And this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the most important thing. I was talking about Sanatana Goswami, who wrote Krishna Lilastava and who spoke about 5 verses glorifying Bhagavatam. Right? I spoke at the initial, some of you who were there. So once a very great king came to Sanatana Goswami and he said that because people used to tell that Sanatana Goswami, imagine like before becoming a complete renunciate, and he was just busy writing scriptures, writing commentary on the scriptures and writing books. Krishna Lilastava also books, many other books he wrote, Brihad Bhagavatam and others. So before that, imagine he was like a CTO of NVIDIA. Parallels, if you want to draw. Basically, he was the treasurer or handling the treasury of the richest personality. That time it was Nawab Hussain Shah. He was taking the treasury. He was handling the treasury. In today's world, you can think of CTO of NVIDIA or Amazon or Microsoft or Big 7. So that was his position, and he left everything, and he became the renunciate, just writing. And that's when he got the name Sanatana Goswami. And the biggest contribution of Sanatana Goswami, you can think of it like whatever Vrindavan that you are seeing now, all the temples and all those things which you see, that is Sham Radha, from all those was excavated by Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, all other Chat Goswami, 6 Goswamis. We think that this is all there from Krishna's time. Actually, it was all covered after he left. So usually things were getting covered, especially after Mughal Raj and everything. But they all again excavated those holy places. So we are very grateful to these 6 Goswamis, which many of us don't know. But if you go to 6 various temples of the Vrindavan, you will see they are having Gaudiya Tilak and all. And that's when we understand, they are all sort of connected with the same Sampradaya. Anyway, so one king went to Sanatana Goswami and told that, I heard that you have the highest treasure, because many people were saying that this guy is very rich, but rich in wisdom. But this king thought that, this guy is rich in money also. So he said, can you give me the highest treasure? I want, please, can you? And then he said, okay, I'll give it. He said, in that garbage, you will see a touchstone. Touchstone means, in those times it means, because he had that, because he was such a great Vaishnava, it's a Vaishnava Kalpataru Vyascha. Vancha Kalpataru Vyascha. Kalpataru Vyascha, any desires you have can get fulfilled if you are in front of a great Vaishnava. So like that, Sanatana Goswami had a touchstone by which one can become very rich like that. So this king went to this Sanatana Goswami and he asked for, can you give me the highest treasure? So Sanatana Goswami told that in that garbage there is a touchstone, you can take it. So he went there and he took the touchstone, and he was going back. He became very happy. So he was going back, and then he realized that if the touchstone is the highest treasure, then why does Sanatana Goswami put it in near a trash can? You don't put all your 401ks and near the dustbin outside, right? You put very safely, password protected, right? Password protected. Like that. So this king was thinking, why this guy kept it in a trash bin near the trash can? So then he went again to Sanatana Goswami and he said, I think you have a treasure bigger than this, greater than this touchstone also that you have given me. So Sanatana Goswami said, no, I don't have anything else. This is what I have. Sanatana Goswami was trying to test that king. And that king said, no, there is something greater than this for sure. That's why you have kept this touchstone. Otherwise, why you keep it near the garbage? So he said, if you want to know what it is, then you have to throw this touchstone far in the ocean. If you can do that, then I will tell you. Now imagine someone has given you all the wealth, all the stocks of, again let's say Big 7 or whatever, PGTV or whatever, all the stocks, and then they said, discard this stock, only then I will tell you what is the highest treasure. Too much risk involved. Right? But this king had complete faith in the words of Sanatana Goswami. He was a Goswami who had controlled all the senses. Go means senses, also means cows, also means senses. Swami means one who has controlled. And he had not controlled the senses, we are known as Godas. So, because he was a sannyasi and a great Vaishnava, this person had faith in the words of Sanatana Goswami. So he went and threw the touchstone, and then he came back. And then Sanatana Goswami initiated him and gave him the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And he said, just chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is this, your life will become successful. In many Shastras, it is said that for this Kali Yuga, the Yoga Dharma is chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In Satyuga, the Yoga Dharma was to do meditation. You saw Dhruva Maharaj doing meditation. You saw many sages doing meditation. During Treta Yuga, the Dharma was to do sacrifices. Today Ram doing sacrifice, right? Ashwamedh sacrifice, and so many different yajnas were done. During Dwapar Yuga, it was deity worship. That was the Yoga Dharma. But for Kali Yuga, the Yoga Dharma is chanting the holy names of the Lord. And that's why you see so many, when you step out, when you go to Paris, one friend called me. He knows that I'm from ISKCON. So he called me and he said that, hey, I'm seeing people dancing in front of me with saffron robes and all. So you'll see in front of Eiffel Tower, they were dancing. So you see people, devotees, going all the way out of their way to chant and dance Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because it has so much potency. So that's why what ISKCON does is chanting the holiness of the Lord, and they spread the holiness of the Lord far and wide. Especially this book Bhagavad Gita. It is said that the entire Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts. I always tell in the class, I start with that. The Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts. First 6 chapters, middle 6 chapters, and last 6 chapters. First 6 chapters talks about Karma Yoga. It talks about Karma Yoga. Why? Because Arjuna, when he started the Bhagavad Gita first chapter, he was confused whether he should fight or not fight. Kya kare ki na kare. He was confused. Right? And then he asked Krishna, you guide me, you tell me what should I do. And that's where Bhagavad Gita started. And Krishna started with the basics. They know that you are not this body of the spirit, soul, and everything is spoke. So first 6 chapters talk about Karma Yoga. Then middle 6 chapters talk about Bhakti Yoga. Middle 6 chapters talk about. So what we are discussing, we are on the 12th chapter now. We are end of the Bhakti Yoga. 7 to 12 chapter. Right? It is Bhakti Yoga. And the last 6 chapters talk about Jnana Yoga. 13 chapters are there. One of the most complex chapters is the 13th chapter. How I started my this Krishna consciousness. I just give a bit of introduction of myself. Just to, so basically, right now I work in Broadcom as a software engineer. But around 2011, 2012, my sister told me to come to Singapore for a retreat, spiritual retreat. And I went there for a spiritual retreat. And after going there, I met many people from Singapore, and my realization was that they're all very happy people. It's very hard to find happy people in this world, right? You usually, it says that smiling faces, crying hearts, right? We see smiling faces, but if you literally scratch, you can see how the suffering is, right? How much there. Some of the other suffering is there. Everything will be going on good, but there is a pimple. Something is there. Right? So, but I saw that they were happy. They were satisfied. They were content. So, and that's when I thought how to know more about them, what they are doing, and that's when my journey of Krishna consciousness started. Then I somehow came to California. I came across as soon as we got married, me and my wife, we got married, and we came here. First day, as soon as we landed, we got an email from San Bruno Temple. It's a Hindu temple in San Bruno, and it was mentioned that we are starting a Bhagavad Gita class. If you're interested, so I was not. I was chanting, but I was not interested so much. But my wife was interested because she saw my family, diligently doing everything. Except I was not doing diligent. I was just chanting. So she felt that she wants to go for Bhagavad Gita class. So we went, started going. Within 2-3 weeks of going, she started getting up 4 a.m. in the morning. Started chanting 60 rounds, which takes around 2 hours. Whatever she used to cook, she started offering. It was a very, complete shift from how she was, that you can ask her, but and what she started practicing suddenly. So then after that, we started coming to ISKCON temple, which is Mountain View, and slowly we started seeing our life getting transformed. I still remember while I was in flight coming back, I was telling my wife that we'll stay around another 1-2 years, but then we will go back. I'm done with this place because I was feeling a little hollow. I felt that US, what I used to see it like when I was in India, Mumbai, it's very different after coming here. I felt some level of people are same, smiling, faces, kind hearts like that. But after coming to ISKCON temple, I'm still here. Actually, I felt after ISKCON, coming to ISKCON, I felt that I want to stay here, I want to serve here, I want to serve Krishna. So that's what I felt. And now more than me, Krishna, Majori, I'm very interested. Again, for the same reason, to serve, because the community has so much to give. Especially ISKCON Silicon Valley. If you have time, you should visit every Sunday for Bhagavad Gita classes and Srimad Bhagavatam. Shiva Maharaj is the temple president of our temple, ISKCON temple. And yes, short introduction of myself. So that's how, but it is important to understand that, so the Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts, as I said, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. And it talks about 5 things. Bhagavad Gita talks about 5 things. One is Atma, who are we? Then Prakriti, which is the material world. How this Atma is in this material world. What is material energy? It is all explained in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Then Prakriti, then Kala. Kala is the time. How everything is happening because of time. And then the 3 modes also is mentioned. And finally Ishvara. Ishvara is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So like that, there are 5 topics that is explained. And in order to understand Bhagavad Gita, we need to have 5 things. You can remember it as the word grace. You can remember. G is, we need to understand Bhagavad Gita by guidance. If you see Arjuna also, after the entire first chapter was completed, as soon as he entered the second chapter, first thing he tells to Arjuna, to Krishna, is you please guide me, Krishna. Guidance is needed. And in our case, the guidance is Srila Prabhupada, who has written this commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Without him, it is very hard to understand. Imagine you have been present in only the Sanskrit verses. It's so hard to understand. Right? In today's day and age, it's very hard. But when it is translated in English, commentary is there, it becomes easier. So having guidance, we always need some guidance. In my case, it was when I was in Sanatan Mandir temple. I was guided by Damodar Amsari Prabhu. So everyone needs some guidance. So G is guidance. R is repetition. You need to keep on. Patience is needed. You need to keep on trying to read Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not like once it is read, done and dusted. Now it has to be kept as it is. No. You have to keep on repeating it. Keep on trying it again and again. Because the more we read, the more we read, the more is the depth we understand Bhagavad Gita. That's why even if we are reading 12th chapter, you will see Krishna is again repeating the same thing, but with much more depth, with much more depth, with much more depth. Same thing we are going to discuss. Today's verse, in fact, talks about Nishkam Karma Yoga. Today's verse talks about that. So, which is 12.11, which is we already discussed in first 6 chapters. But Krishna is again emphasizing on the same thing. So, first is guidance, second is repetition, or having some patience and continuously trying it out. Third is application. It is said that we will have a lot of information, but if you are not applying it, then there is no transformation. The transformation happens by application. Whatever Krishna is writing or Krishna is speaking, how we can apply in our life, that is very important. So application. And fourth is curiosity to learn. If we are coming with a closed mind, that I know everything, then it is very hard. It's like a matka which is upside down. Try to pour water as much as you can. It will just go over. But when we have the pot which is ready to take the learning, then water can come. So like that is the mood that we need to have, is openness. That okay, Krishna is trying to teach us something. Because material knowledge can take us to some level only. But spiritual knowledge can take us much. It is said that the problem that is there in this world can only be solved not by the solutions given by this world, but something higher than that, which is spirituality. It is also said that if you want a new idea, you have to go to an old book, which is scriptures. So that is the fourth thing. And fifth is eagerness to grow. We are not here to we need to know somehow or the other in our heart that at whatever stage I am, there is something I can be better than that. That eagerness to grow needs to be there. Otherwise, again, we will not be able to take the full advantage of the Gita wisdom that is getting offered to us by Srila Prabhupada. Eagerness to grow. So the 5 things that we spoke is, first one was guidance. We need to have guidance. In our case, it is Srila Prabhupada. Second is repetition. We need to keep on repeating again. Reading. I remember first time when 7 weeks we continued going to the Sanatan Mandir, and suddenly after that, the person who was giving the classes, Damodar Prabhu, he said, I am going back to Pune. And then he told me, now you continue giving the classes. And I was just 7 weeks inside. I mean, I myself never read Bhagavad Gita fully. I was just reading with him, whatever he was teaching. So then I was told, I don't know anything. He said, just repeat whatever Srila Prabhupada has written. Just repeat that. And I kept doing that first 2 sessions, and I started realizing that speaking about Krishna is something gives me a lot of happiness. And then we moved to San Jose and started with Krishna. So, but repeating the words of Krishna and just repeating, trying to hear again, gives us the wisdom. And the basic thing that it gives us is we understand that we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. Imagine if you don't know this, life becomes so stressful. But once we understand that what is our position, Dasanudas, we are the servant of the Lord, then life becomes very sorted out. But okay, whatever it is, we are servant of the Lord. Whatever I am doing it for Krishna. Third is application, chanting the holiness of the Lord, taking the association of the devotees. There is once Srila Prabhupada was the founder of ISKCON. He once initiated a person and he named him Dhananjay. Dhananjay is the name of Krishna, Arjuna. And Dhananjay also means one who brings wealth. So this devotee, once his name became Dhananjay, he was thinking that he felt a little pressure that how will I bring wealth for ISKCON? Because his name is Dhananjay. So how will I bring wealth? So once he was reading 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which talks more about cosmology and all, and there it was mentioned that there is a mountain which is made of gold. So he went to Srila Prabhupada and he said, Srila Prabhupada, I heard that in 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam there is a mountain which is made of gold. So is there a mountain like this really? And Srila Prabhupada, in a cosmology, the entire universe. Srila Prabhupada said, yes. So he said, I'm thinking, do you know where it is? He asked Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, why are you asking? So he said, I'm thinking if I can get 20-30 kg of that gold, then to that mountain it will not make much difference. But to our temple, Bhakti it is in Manor in London, that temple he was staying. So he said, if I get the 20-30 kg of that gold and I can use it for Krishna's purpose in this temple, lot of change can happen. Then Srila Prabhupada said, instead of that, if you can get 20-30 devotees, Vaishnavas, who can become Vaishnavas, that is much more than gold. So basically taking association of devotees, and chanting the holiness of the Lord, reading this book, application. If we do that, then that wisdom, what we are taking, will actually help us. It will go more deeper. And then the fourth we discussed is curiosity to learn, and fifth is eagerness to grow. So these are the main things that we need to understand when we start reading Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, it is like any other information like a newsroom, 24/7. Will not have any transformation if we don't apply this. Anyways, now we'll start. It's already 7:30. So there are 12 chapters. In this chapter, how it starts is Arjuna is asking Krishna that Krishna, is personal worship better or impersonalism is better? And Krishna says that personal worship of Krishna is better. And he explains in verse number 3rd and 4th that it is very hard, it is inconceivable, it's very hard to follow. So please try to do personal worship, right? He says the advancement is very troublesome for the people who are doing impersonal worship. So then he says, please do personal worship. Then he glorifies 6th and 7th verse, he talks about personal worship. And in 8th verse, we are discussing now the yoga of love. How Krishna, 8th verse, he talks about Krishna's expectation, and 11th verse is going to speak about Krishna's compassion. If you see many scriptures, religious scripture talks about my way or highway. If you don't do this, if you don't surrender to me, you will go to hell. Right? There are many religious books which talks about that. But the beauty about Bhagavad Gita is Krishna gives us a ladder that if you can't do this, do this. If you can't do this, then do this. And 11th verse, what we are going to discuss is Krishna here will say, if you can't even believe in me, if you can't practice Krishna consciousness, then at least do this. And then 4th doesn't talk about anything about Krishna consciousness. That is the beauty of Yoga. It gives an opportunity to every living entity to grow in their spiritual journey. It's not like my way or highway. That is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. It gives every individual an opportunity to grow at your pace, from your place, by Krishna's grace. Whatever at your pace you can grow in your Krishna consciousness. That is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. And that is why Bhagavad Gita has been so welcomed by different sects, even if they're Westerners or someone, Africans, they all take the teachings of Krishna consciousness because of its open-mindedness. Not just scripture. We have to be open-minded, and scripture itself is so open-minded. So, like that, we'll see now. So what we'll do is we'll again go through 8, 9, 10th verse. We'll just read the translation, and after that we'll do the 11th verse. We'll just quickly complete it. And we also did 4S. We did 3S, 8, 9, and 10th. And the 11th we are going to do the 4th. 8th we spoke about. I'll just quickly discuss that 3S that we did. Each S is each verse. 8th verse talks about Smarana. That completely fix your mind and intelligence on me. Smarana. 9th verse talks about if you can't do Smarana, then 9th verse talks about Sadhana, Swadhyaya and Seva. Sadhana means practice, Abhyasa. Or Swadhyaya means read scriptures, to meditate on Krishna. And Seva, serve Krishna, to meditate on Krishna. Because the ultimate goal is to remember Krishna. Manana, that is the highest goal. That is the 8th. That's what I'm saying. 8th is Krishna's expectation, and 11th verse is Krishna's compassion. If you can't do 8th verse, which is Mananam, then do Smaranam, which is Smaranam or Mananam. Then do 9th verse, which is Sadhana, Swadhyaya or Seva. If you can't do that also, then Krishna is saying 10th verse, Sahayam. Help in the movement. How we can help? Hey, I'm going to this Krishna 10th, on every Thursday I go to. Why don't you also come? I don't know much about Krishna consciousness, but why don't you also come? Right? Like Aishwarya. So Ruchi Mataji was sitting, on Thursday, we were just sitting together. And Ruchi Mataji just told Aishwarya, why don't you come to Thursday program? We have every Thursday program. So like that, this Sahayam. You're just helping, supporting the movement. Like that. In Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada says, I'm very thankful to George Harrison. How many of you have heard about Beatles? Beatles. So George Harrison, who is one of the Beatles, from Beatles, Srila Prabhupada quotes George Harrison. Can you imagine? In scripture, he says, I'm very thankful to George Harrison because he has given $19,000 and so on of that time to support in publishing of Krishna book. Sahayam. He's supporting. He can't practice maybe, but he's supporting. So like that, Sahayam. And fourth, today we are going to discuss the 11th verse. But before that, we'll just discuss 8, 9, 10th again. We'll just do the translation. We can read, but Tara will start from here.
Yeah. 8 verse.
8 verse.
Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt.
Right, this is topmost. Completely fixed your mind in me. And we might be saying, Arey, to apne se nahi ho payega. That's okay. That's what Krishna's expectation is. But we can reach that ladder of love. We can reach that ladder through 9th, 10th, and 11th. That is the next one. Prabhu, you want to read the 9th one? We would also like to welcome Prabhu and Mataji. They are the parents of the glorious Anand Sarup Prabhu. They have come all the way from Atlanta to hear the class. I'm just kidding. They have come here to visit Anand Sarup Prabhu. But in that they are also come. We would like to welcome them by loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Hari Bol. Thank you. Just read the translation.
Yes, 9th verse. This is what? Smaranam we completed 8th. 9th is what? Sadhana. Sadhana means practice. So practice so that we can mananam, we can remember Krishna.
My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Hare Krishna.
Right? Because when we do sadhana, we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, we are remembering Krishna. Right? So do sadhana. Swadhyaya, when we are reading about Krishna, we are remembering Krishna. Seva, when we are serving Krishna, we are remembering Krishna. So like that. So at least if you do 9th, then you will attain 8th. That's what Krishna is saying. But someone will say, time nahi hai Prabhuji. If you don't have time also, let's say. Right? Time is very busy. Very busy. Office manager really gives hard time. Then at home, spouse gives hard time. Or kids give hard time. We have so many reasons to not practice Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is saying, don't worry. I have 10th verse for you. That is the beauty. It's not my way or highway. Krishna is giving us opportunity. Okay, कोई बात नहीं. ये कर ले, कुछ नहीं at least ये कर ले. Like that. Okay. Say it.
You cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga.
So regulation, if abhyas also you can't do. Right?
If you cannot practice,
Yeah, now it will go.
if you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect state.
Then work for me. Right? Then work for me. At least Sahaya. Become an instrument. Like for example, we have this in Krishna, in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada started this, become a life member. Just pay something to us and you can stay in any of our temples which also has ashrama, staying ashram, and you can just stay there for 3 days in a year. Right? So you are Sahayam. How you are, by giving the money, you are supporting the cause. At least become Sahayam. Krishna is saying, at least become Sahayam. And if you can't say, Arey, Prabhuji, I don't even have money to give, or no time, nothing, I have, कुछ भी नहीं है. Krishna consciousness कुछ लेना देना ही नहीं है. So then Krishna is saying, okay, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, होता है. We do 11th verse. So we'll do now 11th verse. So we did until 10th, right? And now Krishna is saying, okay, now we'll do 11th. You can repeat after me now. Now we'll do entire verse, translation and then purport, commentary. Adhaitatapya shaktosi kartum madyogamashitah sarvakarma phala tyagam tata kuru yatatmavan. Yatatmavan means one who has Atma means mind, body or intelligence. It depends on what context it is. Yatatma means Avan means to one who is a possessor. Bhagavan, one who is a possessor of opulence. Dhanvan, one who is possessor of wealth. Bhagyavan means possessor of fortune. Yatatmavan, possessor of control of the senses. Control of the senses, mind or intelligence. And karma phala tyagam, give up the results of the activities. Not the activities itself. You don't have to become sannyasi. Results of the activities. You don't have to put your mind on the, whether I'll get bonus or not. Even if I get, I'll use it for Krishna's or some swadharma, at least I'll do something. And for S is satkarma. At least do some good activities. Come to the mode of goodness. You don't have anything to do with Krishna consciousness, that's okay. But at least do a swadharma or satkarma. Do something nice for the community. And by that, by coming to mode of goodness, you will come to the level of sahayam. And from the sahayam, you will do some sadhana. And from the sadhana, you will do some manana, which is smarana. Okay? So satkarma, above satkarma is sahayam. Above sahayam is sadhana. Above sadhana is smarana. At least we can start with that. Translation someone else can read.
If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then
Right.
try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
It's so hard, right? Translation. Self-situation मतलब बोले तो क्या? We'll think, right? Once what? That's why there is a commentary. Now Shri Prabhupada will explain what it means at our level. This you will read. Purport, you can complete it.
If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself.
We read that. Yeah, it may be that one is unable even to sympathize. You know the same 11th verse. Yeah.
It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial or religious considerations or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family
Right?
members.
Sometimes people think, अरे जाएगा ISKCON में तो बाहर निकल के आएगा और they'll become brahmachari. People have different kinds of thinking, right? So Krishna is saying, okay, then Shri Prabhupada is saying, maybe you might feel like that. Then do satkarma, do at least some good activities.
Family members are so many other difficulties. For one who has such problem, it is advised that he sacrifice an accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices and special functions for the full moon day, and there is special work in which the result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives up the hard-earned results of his activities.
Right? Basically doing some good activity. Need not be related to Krishna consciousness directly, but some good activity.
That is also recommended here because by the practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And in the purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind.
So if you are engaging directly in Krishna consciousness, then you don't have to do 11th. ऐसा नहीं कि 11th करना है, Shri Prabhupada is saying. But let's say you are not able to do Krishna consciousness, then at least do 11th. That will help you to come to the mode of goodness at least. And that will help you to elevate.
But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his actions. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc. may be accepted so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 1836, we find it stated, Yatha pravrittir uttanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method.
I told Manjari, as soon as you bring Aarti Thali, I will understand that. You're supposed to enter.
I know that.
So, anyways, we'll take some 5-6 minutes and then we'll start the Aarti, small, and then we'll have to share. So, how we can understand different levels, I can give you a simple example analogy. Imagine you have money, but you have nothing to do with Krishna consciousness. You are building a well for a society. They can take water from it and like that. So that is Sat Karma. Now you are thinking, no, I want to build a well for the temple so that it can be used for Krishna's consciousness. But I don't have time to build the well. I'll give the money. That is verse number 10, Sahaya. Above that is, I will actually build the entire well. I'll put my effort, I'll put the well, I'll do everything, I'll take out the water from the well. That is sadhana, swadhyaya or seva. And then offering the water to the Lord, to Krishna directly, that is manana. You can think like that, manana, directly to the Lord, offering directly to the Lord. So that is the stages one can understand at a gross level. So, and that's why it is important that whenever we get time, we should try to spend time in Krishna consciousness. And it can be in different ways. Coming for this program, or whatever we do, whatever we eat, we can offer it to Krishna first and then eat. Whenever we get time, we can chant at least one round of Hare Krishna mantra. Or we can just read every day, just 5 to 10 minutes Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has a lot to offer, and we see that Krishna himself is so merciful. He's again opening his arms and he's just saying that whatever, at least come to this level, at least do this. Right? So merciful. That's why it's Krishna's expectation to Krishna's compassion. And then books, we can visit temple or holy places like that. Diet, books, association, taking association of Vaishnavas. That is the highest thing that we can do, taking the association of Vaishnavas. So we can end here. So we discussed 4 things today. 3 things we discussed before, and today we are discussing the 4th thing. Topmost is Krishna's expectation is Smaranam, remembering Krishna all the time. If that is hard, then sadhana, swadhyaya or seva. If that is also difficult, then sahaya. And finally, 4 is satkarma. And we can see throughout the day, we might be doing all the 4 also at different times of the day. So we'll stop here. Thank you so much for giving me your time. We'll discuss more after